When I was 9 years old, my dad passed away of cancer, and that was devastating for our family. I remember after the funeral, for just weeks after that, our family was just so disrupted. That would go on for a while, but then eventually there was a knock on the door, and I went to the door, and it was somebody from church. I didn't even know who this person was. They knew what we were going through, and they showed up with lasagna, or they showed up with like Micro Machine toys, or they just showed up was the thing. I was fortunate because I had a church family that wrapped around me. I should have been a statistic of the fatherless. I was on a route to go down a very dark path. And I know without a shadow of a doubt that I didn't because of those nameless people who showed up at my door. And that really made me feel, as a 9-year-old does, that I'm seen and I'm known and that I'm loved, that I'm not forgotten. My own youth pastor was there for me to kind of help me pick up the pieces and talk through things. And I wanted to be able to be a presence like that. So I was a youth pastor for about 10 years. And absolutely loved it. I got to watch kids' lives change. And then we had this youth group. We were in Florida, and the youth group was booming. It was awesome. We were doing so good. And God's like, how's it going? I was like, oh, it's good. I've got these systems in place, and this is gonna happen, and my leaders are doing this, and I've got this on the schedule, and oh my gosh, it's great. He's like, that's good. That's good. And he goes, so kids are gonna get loved when they come in your door. I was like, absolutely, they're gonna be loved. He goes, but what if they don't come in your door? If I don't get outside these four walls, what if my life ends up being a vanity project? What happens to the kids who are gonna remain nameless? Well, who's gonna love them? If the church doesn't do it, who's gonna step in and do it? And that's where we really started up with Care Portal, which was a way that we could build something to where churches could collectively be seeing these needs in the community and could make a tangible difference. There was this one request that I responded to not too long ago, a little girl who needed a bed. And we had access to some beds, and I was like, absolutely, let's do this. And so I got a bed and went over there and walked into the home and saw this little girl who didn't really know what to think about us, kind of skeptical. Found out that she had been in so many different foster homes. She had been so disoriented. And then I saw her bedroom with like a sleeping bag in a corner of a room, and my heart just broke. And on all these beds that we get, there's a brand on it that says, you are seen, you are known, you are loved. And while we're putting this together, she sees that, and she's like, what's that? And I go, did you know that you're seen, you're known, and that you're loved by your Heavenly Father? And He sees what you're going through, and He has never left you. And now she sees that every night before she goes to sleep. When I got to serve her, and when I got to look into her eyes, it brought me back to my moment of crisis when I was 9 years old. What if I got to tell myself that you are seen, you are known, and you're loved? And so Care Portal is just this way to connect the people who want to help with the families who really need help in a really meaningful way. Irrational generosity is a contagious thing that I think when it gets in your heart and you see it and you show up for a family and you see the look in their eyes, or you got to be a part of something special, it changes you. So you're not just attending church on the weekends. You're like, oh, I'm churching. I am being church right now in this moment. It's not like this is a place that we go to meet. This is a way in which we follow Jesus.